How's it going, everybody? My name is Sockbot, and today we are going to be talking about multiplayer in Dreams. Now, I've touched on this in past videos, but recently Alex Evans, who is the co-founder of Media Molecule, did an interview with Game Informer. Now, if you're not subscribed to Game Informer for any reason, like, you don't really need to be, but I was actually pissed because I think my subscription just ended like a few months ago, and now they're the cover story, meaning Dreams is the cover story on Game Informer. But anyways, today I wanted to talk specifically about this interview and about a couple things that he mentioned about multiplayer, which we've been hinted at in the past and things that I've kind of assumed, but more stuff that we have confirmed as of right now. There is some conflicting information, so my guess is that he may have been jumping the gun on some of these questions because they were so rapid fire. I mean, he answered like 229 questions within the span of like, what, 10 minutes? So not super surprising. Some of them weren't really questions, but anyways, if you do enjoy this kind of casual, laid back, I don't know, it's not really laid back because I'm like sprinting through things, but if you do enjoy this kind of video that's unscripted and more just me saying my opinion on things and what I can hope to expect from various kind of news points within the Media Molecule news stream, do give me a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. But otherwise, let's get right into the actual information part, because that's why you're here. So, like I said, I will make a few more videos about the other things, but today we're going to be talking about specifically multiplayer. And there are two huge questions that people tend to ask on the forums and more specifically on Reddit, because that's, you know, where people like to scream their differences into the abyss and hope that somebody will answer them. So we do have definitive-ish answers on these directly from Alex Evans, but again, all of this is subject to change. One question that everybody seems to ask has to do with the idea of creating an MMO within Dreams. Now, just about every other question, and they actually touch on this in the interview, which is super interesting, by the way, you should watch it, but one of the questions that a lot of people have been asking is, how do you go about creating an MMO within Dreams? And this is probably the only time I've heard him or anybody else from Media Molecule say you can't really do that. And the reason for that has to do with the level existing when it's not being played. So kind of like an always-on thing with the level, and that's just impossible within Dreams. And it makes sense, to be perfectly honest, because with Media Molecule servers, if people were allowed to create these always-on levels so that people could access it at any time, like is required for an MMO, they would have a huge strain just from that on their servers. And that's not in terms of like data access on their servers, that's like immediate RAM on their servers, which is just not something that is possible to do and just allow people to create. So it's unfortunate, but we do have a definitive answer where he actually said no, which is very strange. So the second big kind of announcement-y answer thing that kind of lends itself to some implications has to do with Battle Royale games. Now, Alex Evans did say yes, you can create Battle Royale games in Dreams, which is pretty exciting. Again, the only no I've heard this entire time has been for MMOs, so what does that imply? Well, it implies two big things that I can think of, and if you can think of anything else, please let me know. But one of them is that creating a Battle Royale game like Fortnite or something like that, what's the other one? Not CSGO, and anyways, the other one, which I'm sure I'm insulting a lot of people by not remembering, but proud of myself for not doing that. Creating one of these implies that you can do two things. One is that you can have a player limit that's larger than 4 players. Now, I don't know if Alex Evans really meant to imply this, but it wouldn't really make sense to create a Battle Royale game like Fortnite with just a limit of 4 players. Those kinds of games tend to be very large because the point is that it's supposed to be a very quick thing where all of these people are thrown in, very quickly dwindles down to the last few, and yet the games only last like 10 or 15 minutes altogether. So if that's the case, then a higher player limit than 4 player has implications for a lot of other game types too, obviously except for MMOs. But on top of that, being able to have a Battle Royale game kind of implies something that's a little more complicated. So with these Battle Royale games, one of the nicest things about them and one of the things that makes them so fast-paced is the second that you leave the game, or, you know, die, for example, you are able to leave the game while still being completed. So, like, it doesn't penalize you for just dying and leaving. And this is great because it doesn't make you watch the rest of the game as it happens. So for Dreams, this means that when you do die in a versus level or a battle royale game, for example, you will be able to leave the game but still haven't completed the level. So it basically allows for different players that join the group to complete the level at different times, which is something that we've never seen before. I'm not really sure what other examples I can think of other than, I guess, versus mode or any sort of game that just ends upon someone dying. Like, once you die, you're basically out of the round. But that would actually be quite nice, because it would lend that benefit that Battle Royale games have, which is being able to get out of the game and not having to watch the rest of the players play earlier. Like, I guess that's kind of interesting, I suppose, but honestly the bigger, more exciting thing is the player limit being above 4, which I think is not something I'm super hoping for, because it's definitely a possibility that he is just saying Battle Royale games with 4 people are possible, but honestly that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But anyways, that is today's video. It is a rather short one, and I tried to get through all of this information to give my opinion, and honestly, all in all, it's kind of some small information, but they are 2 really big questions that everybody seems to be asking on the forums, because those are 2 really popular genres. It makes sense. So I figured I would answer those questions. I will be making another video specifically based on the thing. I say this because my laptop's right there. Sorry for continuously looking here, but I do want to talk about a few of the other things that he mentioned in there. This just seemed to warrant its own video, at least for my mental space to have things organized, so that when people are actually looking for this question, they can hopefully find the answer. Anyways, lots of talking, very speaky, so I'm gonna go, and hope you're all doing very well, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Alright, bye guys. Nah, I'm just kidding, bye!